Hi guys, this is Mandy from Mandy Lee Plays, and today's video is going to be Zelda theme. In case you haven't noticed, I am going to share with you my list of Zelda games from worst to best. So let's get started. Okay, moving on from worst is Zelda CDI, need I say more. Next one is Zelda 2, the difficulty is bullshit. There's really nothing to say about that one either. And the next one is Zelda 1, the original Zelda, this one. And while this one will have a place in my heart as the game that's jump-started my favorite series, it's not really a good game, and I didn't really enjoy it while playing it, but you know, it's the first Zelda game, so it does deserve some respect. And the next one is the Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. This one, while it did have a cool concept, I didn't really like it implemented into a Zelda game that early because the graphics are not that pretty, the gameplay is lackluster. The story is okay. Hopefully in the future we get a Zelda game with the same kind of system, because it's pretty cool that you could play one and then you could play the other one and then that impact the main story. And the next one is Link's Awakening, and this one, in my opinion, just like Oracle of Seasons and Ages, doesn't feel like a Zelda game. There's really no point to it. If you play the game, you would know what I'm talking about. It did have unique characters and a unique take with Link. I think they were trying to build a character with him, but they just didn't know how. But that being said, the game does have, you know, its cool parts, its unique parts, but overall it was a lackluster Zelda game in my opinion. The next game is Triforce Heroes and Four Swords. While these games are fun to play, they're virtually impossible to play on your own, and it's hard to get people together to play, you know, a game. So while these games are enjoyable, it doesn't stack up to the other ones just because of the, you know, the heavy implementation of multiplayer. And this one, a lot of you might be surprised why it's so high on the list, and this one is A Link to the Past. Now this one I don't have any nostalgic feelings towards. I played it on my 3DS and it's not the game that everyone was saying it was. Like, I didn't see like the epicness. It was a great game. It did have a lot of story elements. It did a lot for the time it was released, and I could see why people like it. It didn't really suit well for me, but it's still an enjoyable game. And the next one is Zelda Phantom Hourglass, and this game is hilarious. I love Toon Link and his expressions in this game. I feel like he doesn't even need to talk because his face just says it all. Really held it back for some people, and me myself, is the gameplay. It's very strange. I did play it and I did beat it, but it's not something I would look forward to play again. But that being said, I do wish for a remake of Phantom Hourglass. That game is truly underrated because of the gameplay, but with a little tweaking, Nintendo can make it better. And the next one is just like a Phantom Hourglass, and that is Spirit Tracks. This one's a little bit better because they tweaked the gameplay a little bit. Again, the story is hilarious, it's quirky, and you get to play as Zelda in some points. You get to possess her spirit, and you get to go on an adventure with her. And I really hope Nintendo revisits these two series because, you know, they're really underrated, and I really want to see them remade to something better. And then the next one is Zelda Minish Cap, and this game looks beautiful. It was made for the Game Boy Advance, and the graphics still hold up today. It's overall enjoyable. The dungeons are unique. The story is unique. Your hat buddy is way better than Navi. I hope Nintendo ports it to the 3DS or gives it a remake treatment, because that game is underrated in my opinion, but it is a great game that more people should play. And the next one might come as a surprise to you, but that is A Link Between Worlds. And why I put it before A Link to the Past is because it does have the same classic style that A Link to the Past had, and it really made me kind of understand more why people liked The Link to the Past at the time. It's really easy to just pick up and play and enjoy. The graphics look beautiful, but it does have a unique story, and I highly suggest anyone pick it up. It's for the 3DS. It's now a classic, so it should be around 20 bucks. And the next one is Zelda Ocarina of Time, and it's a classic. I'm sure all of you have heard it, but this one really showcased how Nintendo could take their games into the 3D platform really good. It deserves all its accolades and awards, but to me, it's not the greatest game of all time, but that's just because of my personal reasons. It's a great game, and I highly suggest you get the remaster on the 3DS. And then the next one is Zelda Twilight Princess. Now this one I had so many emotions with, because when it first got released, I hated it because I was going through that phase where I didn't like realistic games. I wanted the cartoony, the colorful, the vibrant ones. And then when I saw Twilight Princess, I'm like, why Zelda? Why? But obviously I grew out of that phase, and I've played it multiple times, and I've grown to really love it. It is a Zelda game that's not everyone's favorite, and I understand, but it is very unique and got me out of that whole realistic comfort zone. Check it out. Next is Zelda Wind Waker, and this one is just beautiful. For the sake of time, I'm just gonna keep it simple. The art style is beautiful, the music is fantastic, the gameplay is so fun. It's just an overall great game. I love it. One of my favorites, well, obviously. And I highly suggest you guys pick it up. It's for the Wii U. I know, boo, but if you have a Wii U, I highly suggest you pick it up. And we're nearing towards the end. There's 3 left, so... And the next one is Zelda Majora's Mask, and this one's so high up on my list because I really love how Nintendo took a risk and decided to tell this weird, unique, sad story in a Zelda game nonetheless. I could name a bunch of reasons why this Zelda game is different, but mainly it stood out to me because it's one of the first Zelda games that really showed that you could tell a story in Zelda and not it being the same generic thing. So I really love it for that. That's a game I don't think anybody would forget. And my number 2 pick is Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now this game took a 180 from the rest of the Zelda games and said, F you, I'm doing my own thing. And Nintendo did it wonderfully. It really highlights how Nintendo is good at taking games and remaking them into something totally different without losing its, core game. And with Breath of the Wild, they took the open world and did it really great. There were some story elements that were lacking, but nonetheless, the game is phenomenal. So Zelda Breath of the Wild was perfect in my opinion to release with its brand new console, the Switch, because it really highlights how Nintendo is changing, but still keeping its old classics to heart. And my last entry for this list, and if you follow me on Twitter, you should see this coming a mile away, and that is Zelda Skyward Sword. And to keep this video short, I'm just gonna say the reason why I love it so much is because the dungeons were beautiful, the music was amazing, one of my favorite OSTs of all time. It was the 25th anniversary of Zelda, and while not a lot of people like Skyward Sword for many reasons, it did stand out for me in my list, and my experience with the game was something I'll never forget. So yeah, those are all the Zelda games from worst to best in my opinion. If you liked the video, please give me a like. Tell me your favorite Zelda games in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if you like content like these and many more, please consider subscribing. I will appreciate it, and thank you. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day and play a good game. Bye.